The Saucony Triumph 21. Is this the smoothest ride you can find for under £200? Let's find out. Right, into our specs. So first of all, this shoe weighs 279 grams and it has a 10mm drop from heel to toe. The stack height on this shoe is 37mm at the heel and 27mm at the forefoot. It is a neutral support shoe. It has the Power Run Plus midsole, which is supposedly 3 times more durable than its predecessor. The outsole is designed to be hard wearing and grippy, of course. However, it does have these multi-directional grooves which are strategically placed to make your foot feel secure and connected to the ground. The Triumph 21 has a new cushion tongue and collar, and they've also introduced their new flat knit upper design. They've redesigned their laces, and that combined with the upper means that your foot will be secure on a long slow run or a quick fast paced run, and there won't be any in-shoe slipping. The shoe currently comes in 2 colours for men and 2 separate colours for women, and this shoe is £170. Okay, so let's talk about all the things that I really like about this shoe. So first of all is the ride comfort. It is unbelievable how cushioned this shoe is and how good it feels. It swallows up everything. It's like running on pillows. I couldn't believe it on my first run. I was just blown away by how much cushion is in this shoe and how good it feels, because lots of shoes have loads of cushion but they just don't feel this plush. It feels like such a plush shoe, especially for the price. I think it's the most cushioned shoe I've run in under £200. It keeps your foot really well protected on a long run and it feels really nice, and you can go for miles and it still feels really nice underfoot. So the ride comfort of this shoe is absolutely amazing. So then on from that, we've got the upper comfort, and the upper comfort also is really good. This flat knit design is really nice, especially from here to here. It's so comfortable. I'll talk about this a little bit later on. This upper just hugs your foot nicely. The toe box is not too wide so your foot's not slipping about, but it's also not too narrow so it's not cramped and you're not picking up blisters and things. It's really nice. It fits your foot really nicely. It keeps it snug, but it's not too much. The midfoot as well is really nice and snug. It holds your foot down well, and that combined with the nice soft cushion and the ride comfort just means that this shoe is really nice to run in. Next up is the responsiveness. So this shoe just delivers power. So much of it. It returns more energy than you put out. I couldn't believe it. The amount of energy returned from this shoe is insane. It just throws the ground away. It's amazing. It propels you forward. I absolutely love it. On fast runs, this is insane. On a flat, straight road, this shoe just comes to life when you put the pace in. It feels incredible. It's so good. That mix of comfort and cushion and responsiveness is really good. And this shoe, when pushing the pace, just comes alive. It's amazing. The responsiveness is so good. Then we've got the durability. So believe it or not, I've run 170 miles in this shoe already and it looks amazing. Especially the outsole. It just looks really good. I went for a run the other day and I was feeling really tired, so I was kind of scuffing my feet along the floor and not really doing great. It wasn't a great run, but I really battered the shoes and they look so good. They look brand new, and that's another thing, is that they feel brand new every single run. That cushion hasn't diminished and that responsiveness hasn't diminished, and I know it's only 170 miles but it hasn't diminished at all, not even the slightest bit. It feels like they're brand new out of the box every single run. There's no snags, nothing. The only tiny thing I have is I've snagged the lace slightly, but that doesn't really matter. So as far as durability goes, I know I'm going to get hundreds more miles out of these shoes, probably another 400 to 500 miles out of these, and I'm nearly at the 200 mark, so I'm going to get so many miles out of these shoes. So they're going to be so durable, and I just think it's amazing how good they look despite the amount of miles I've already put on them. Okay, so we're going to have to get into some dislikes because there is a few, and the first one is the laces. So the laces really annoy me because they slip slightly and they just get looser and looser and looser throughout your run, and it's really irritating, and it takes about 2 to 3 miles for them to slip, but they feel really good at the start when you lock them down. They feel great, but then slowly they just slip and you just lose this lockdown in the heel, and it's really annoying. Do you remember when I said it was comfortable from here to here? Well, it is, but it's comfortable here. I mean, it is comfortable here. but it slowly slips and then you don't have any lockdown, and it's really annoying. So it just doesn't quite work properly, and I don't know why, but these laces just slip, and you can double knot them. I 100% think you should double knot them, but they still slowly slip away, and it's just really irritating. I thought a runner's knot would save this, however it really didn't, which really annoyed me. So a runner's knot kind of, it self-tightens, which is quite good, and it really locks the heel in. However, because it self-tightens, what I found with this shoe is that if you run slightly downhill and you land sort of flat foot or heel first, what happens is as the shoe sort of compresses, the laces tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten until basically you can't feel your foot. It was unbelievable. I had to take this off. So I did the runner's knot. Within 2 miles, I had to take the shoe off. And it wasn't a case of just take the shoe off and re-tie it. It was a case of take one shoe off at a time and let my foot breathe, and then put it back on and tie it normally. It really hurt my feet. It was horrible. So I think lacing them normal is the way to go, but the laces just aren't good enough. They just need more to them so they bind and don't slip open. So then following on from that is the heel/collar is my next dislike, because it's massively affected by this lace issue and it doesn't lock you down. So this shoe is great. Like I said, if you've got a flat, straight road, oh my God, it's amazing. However, when you start to take a corner, kind of goes a little bit wrong, because your foot slips in the shoe. So they say about this in-shoe slipping, which they've apparently eradicated. They really haven't. It's terrible. So sharp turns in this shoe just don't work. You just can't get around them. You can't put the power down. I've been doing intervals around a football pitch, so the corners are quite tight. Every time I get to a corner, I can't put any power down because my foot is slipping so much in the shoe that I just can't propel off, and it's really annoying. It's really irritating. So this heel and collar just doesn't work. It's comfy, but it just doesn't work because it doesn't lock you in well enough. Right, then we've got this traction. The traction's terrible. It's really, really bad. In the dry, it's fine. It's adequate. Whatever, it does okay. In the wet, it's terrible. It's really bad. It slips all the time. Even on flat, wet roads, it just starts to slip. Drains in the wet, no, just stay off. Completely stay away. Wet grass, stay away. Taking this shoe off-road, not really. I mean, it's a road shoe, so fine, it's not meant for off-road, but a lot of road shoes you can take on a forest track, but these I would just stick away from it. But yeah, this traction just does not hold up. It's really annoying. It's really durable. I mean, it's like absolutely fine. Like, it's had a beating and it's fine, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't stick you to the ground like it should. It's the worst traction I think I've had in any shoe I've ever run in. Yeah, it's not good. That traction's just not great. So dry running, this is really good, but when it starts to get wet, just watch out a little bit. Right, so I brought back the meh category for this shoe because there's 2 things. So first of all, it's just around here where the arch of your foot is. And what happens is when you pull the laces tight, they dig into the arch of your shoe. Now when you first tighten it up, you'll feel it. You go, oh yeah, okay, that I felt that, like a twinge in the arch of my foot. And you think, right, okay, so it sort of goes away and you start running on the flat and on the straight and it's fine. And then when you take a corner, your outside foot gets a stab. The sharper the corner, the more it stabs. But what I've noticed is it does it a lot when you're cornering. It just stabs in and stabs in and stabs in. And it's enough that I've started to get a bit of a niggle on the arch of my foot. I can feel it when I take the shoes off at the end of the run. I'm sort of walking around barefoot. I can feel that arch just kind of twinging a little bit. So that's a little bit thing. I mean, you need to take quite a sharp corner to do it, sort of like a 90-degree turn that's quite quick, and that will get it, but it's always there and I'm always sort of feeling it. So that's just something to note that's just not that comfortable. The rest of it's so comfortable, but that little bit there is just a bit irritating. So then we've got the stack height. So normally stack height on a shoe is absolutely fine. It doesn't really matter too much. However, combined with this awful traction, this stack height worries me. So I've gone down some really steep hills in this, in the wet and in the dry, and both times I'm just not feeling confident. All my confidence just goes away in this shoe because it doesn't feel secure underfoot. And when coming down a steep descent, I just don't like it, especially I can't keep the speed up. I have to really pull the speed down, and sometimes I end up just walking because it doesn't feel secure. And then, as I said, a lot of road shoes you can kind of take them off-road a little bit on like a forest track or something, but these you just can't, because if you just land on a stone and it sort of sends you off, the stack height is so high that it just really twinges your ankle. I just think you're going to break an ankle or something. You're really going to get hurt. My first run in these was 8 miles on a forest track, and it was up a steep hill and then back down that same steep hill, and I was trying to keep with my mate Sam, and down the hill he's so much quicker than me, such a great runner, and I was really trying to open up my stride and keep up with him, but I just couldn't in this shoe. I just didn't have that stability, and it was really worrying. And I know I can't really be like, no, it's a terrible shoe, because that is off-road and it is a road shoe at the end of the day, but it's just worth noting that you can't really take this off-road. You do need to stick to the road in this shoe. Right, so to conclude, right, I've mentioned some things I like, some things I don't like, and some things that are a bit nah. However, I love this shoe. I really like it. It just makes me happy when I go for a run in it. It makes running a little bit easier some days, and I think that's amazing. And I think if you enjoy running in a shoe, then it's a good running shoe. And I do think this is a really good running shoe. I think it's absolutely perfect for speed work. So for me, I just think it's a really good shoe. To sum it up, it's one that I really like. So leading on from that, who is this shoe for? Well, I think this is a speed work shoe. You could use it as a race day shoe if you don't want to go over the £200 mark and buy some Vaporflies or Alphaflies or maybe a Cloud Boom Echo or something like that, or the endorphins from these. If you don't want to go for that price of shoe, but you want something that's still going to perform really well on race day, this is great for under £200. But if you do have a shoe like that and you don't want to use them up on your interval sessions in the week and you want to save them for race day, this is the shoe. This would be amazing for your interval day, your tempo day, your hill work. It would be so good for that. Any speed work that you've got to do that you can save your amazing like Alphaflies for race day, this shoe would just smash it out of the park. It would be the perfect sort of complement to an Alphafly. So that's where I think this lands. I don't think it's an everyday shoe, because on those long, slow runs, I think the responsiveness propels you along a bit too much and you kind of can't keep the speed down. If you're going for a recovery run in these, it's good because it's got that cushion, but I think it might push you a little bit too fast, and then you maybe don't get the whole benefit of the recovery session because you've gone a bit too quick. So maybe not the everyday shoe, but a speed work shoe, yeah. Quality runs, quality sessions, this is your shoe. Right, so that is the Saucony Triumph 21. And if you want to see an everyday shoe that I think will pair really well with this, then click this video right here. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments below. And if you think I've earned it, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.